What if Darth Vader was not the father of Luke Skywalker? Well, the truth is, that would change the whole story and change the Star Wars saga for either the better or the worse. Well, most fans would probably say the worse. But what if Vader and Luke's father were two different people? It's well known in the Star Wars fandom that prior to The Empire Strikes Back, released in 1980, Darth Vader wasn't supposed to be the father of Luke Skywalker, but it was something George Lucas would eventually come up with. In A New Hope, we are told by Obi-Wan Kenobi a little bit about Luke's father. The 1976 novelization of Star Wars from the Adventures of Luke Skywalker gives us a bit of insight. Luke is said to be too much like his father by both his aunt and Kenobi for being adventurous. Kenobi confirmed that Luke's father was a Jedi Knight like him and that his uncle Owen did not agree with his father's ideas, opinions, or with his philosophy on life. He says that Owen wanted his father to stay on as a farmer. Kenobi says his father wasn't much of a farmer and was the best pilot he ever knew, a smart fighter, and that the Force, the instinct, was strong in him and that he was a good friend. Kenobi hands over his father's lightsaber to Luke and that his uncle wouldn't let him have it. Luke notices the lightsaber was kept in good condition. Kenobi tells Luke that Owen wasn't much for idealism, but his father's decisions came instinctively, like his piloting. Luke finally asks Kenobi how his father died, and he learns that he was betrayed and murdered by a very young Jedi named Darth Vader, a boy Kenobi was training, a bright disciple and one of his greatest failures. Vader used the training Kenobi taught him for evil and to help the later corrupt emperors, and apparently that is plural. The Jedi Knights were disbanded, disorganized, or dead, and only a few opposed Vader. Today they're extinct. He says that the Jedis put too much trust in the Republic, failing that it was open to manipulation by the Emperor. Kenobi says he wonders what Vader was after, that he's preparing for some incomprehensible abomination. Later in the book, we learn that the Blue Leader, an older man, knew Luke's father when he was a boy, confirming that he was a great pilot, but it also makes us wonder how old Luke's father was really supposed to be. In 1978, the first draft of The Empire Strikes Back confirmed that Darth Vader and Luke's father were two different people, and that Luke had a sister. During production of the movie, the script is believed to have said something entirely different from the famous "I am your father" quote. If George Lucas decided not to make Vader Luke's father, what would have happened to the saga? Would Vader just be another generic bad guy Luke has to fight? Was the Star Wars saga even supposed to be about Anakin, or was it always about the adventures of Luke Skywalker? Let's imagine that during production of The Empire Strikes Back, they went ahead with what was on this alleged script, that Vader reveals to Luke that it was Obi-Wan Kenobi who was the one who killed Luke's father. Luke is in shock. How could it be? That's impossible. Vader asks him again to join him, but Luke would rather die and drops down to a shaft. When Luke is saved by Lando, Leia, and Chewie, Luke begs Obi-Wan to confront him, begs him to answer if it's true. The Empire Strikes Back comes to an end. So what happens in the next movie? It's Return of the Jedi, or perhaps Revenge of the Jedi, as it was originally called. Luke and his friends do save Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt in the opening. Luke finally heads to Dagobah to meet with Yoda to find out the truth about his father. Yoda tells Luke that his father was a great Jedi and that Luke cannot be distracted, and that he should have completed his training, but it is too late. The only thing Luke can do now is he must overcome Vader to become a Jedi Knight. Luke tells Yoda he needs to know the truth about Obi-Wan, but Yoda becomes one with the Force. Luke regrets returning to Dagobah, till Obi-Wan Kenobi's Force Ghost finally appears. Luke is angry at him for killing his father and for lying to him. Kenobi says Luke would never become a Jedi if he had known the truth. He says he loved his father like his own brother, but Vader turned Anakin Skywalker against him. Kenobi says there were terrible things done in the Clone Wars, terrible things that he had done, that the Jedi were blinded by their loyalty to the Republic, that they were unaware of the monster it was becoming under the Emperor. Kenobi says, "Your father was convinced by Vader that I had loved your mother, that she was carrying my children and that I had turned to evil. Your father always acted on instinct, a strength of his, and also a weakness. If he had only searched for his feelings, he would have known the truth. So he confronted me. I tried to stop him. I did not want to hurt him, but fear, anger, and hatred got the best of him. He was seduced by the dark side of the Force, which is what Vader wanted from him, but it was too late. Luke, I did not intentionally kill your father." Luke is upset. He tells Kenobi he doesn't know what to think anymore. Kenobi tells him that he gave up becoming a Jedi after his father's death, and that is when he knew Vader was working for the Emperor, hunting and manipulating the Jedi Order till it was over. He hid from Vader, and in his penance, he promised his mother he would protect both her children, but separated them so that Vader could not have his hands on them. Luke is confused and asks what he means. Kenobi tells him that he has a twin sister who has already been trained in the Jedi ways by another Jedi Master who has long since passed, but she is now in hiding. So in this movie, the second Death Star is destroyed. However, the Emperor doesn't appear in the movie except in a sequence when Vader confronts him early in the movie. There are no Ewoks, and Leia is not Luke's sister. Luke defeats Vader in a final confrontation. However, during the fight, he used his anger and hatred when Vader found out that Luke had a sister. Luke regrets the way he defeated Vader, and that perhaps Vader defeated Luke by seducing him to the dark side. Luke wants to redeem himself, and by the end of the film leaves his friends to find his long-lost sister, continuing the adventures of Luke Skywalker. But we all know that never really happens. That Episode 7 wouldn't come out till 32 years later. Sometimes I wish Lucas had continued Star Wars on film, letting others take the story forward, with writers knowing what the end game was. After all, he did eventually sell Star Wars to Disney and was hated for the prequels for a time. Funny how many of us appreciate the prequels now after Disney's adaptations. So let us know what you think. Like and comment below, subscribe, and thank you for watching In the Plot.